Hello, everyone. Welcome to a weekend reading vlog. This weekend I had really big plans to read arcs. I have 5 that I need to read. I know I need to read The Empress of the Nile, which I have about 150 pages left, 100 pages left. I have the London Séance Society, which I'm only done chapter 1. Daughter of Eden, which I haven't started. The Maid of something. I cannot pronounce that title. The cover will be here. That one, which I haven't started. And I also need to read Memory Lane by Becky. So I have 5 arcs. I was like, I am going to crush it. It's family day weekend. I have a long weekend. It's going to be amazing. Then my sister went into labor 10 days early and had a baby. So I will have a few unexpected things going on. One is my sister, who lives about an hour and a half away with her husband. They're going to come down. They might stay at my place. We're going to hang out and meet the new little niece, which is going to be very exciting. So that takes time out of my weekend, which is like a reading weekend, has suddenly turned into a very different life weekend. And that's great. I am happy and I am ecstatic that this change of plans. I have no qualms, but it does mean that maybe not all 5 books will get read. So yeah, I have Friday night, which is to now. Tomorrow, which is where I'm going to be doing my normal weekend adulting jobs. And then Sunday, which is family time, meet new niece time, different things like that. And then Monday, which my brother-in-law and sister might be staying overnight. So we will be maybe not having a full Monday to read. That's okay. Things are more important, and family always is better than books. Right? Yes, they are always better than books. So I will be hopefully getting some reading done. We'll see. So I have those 5 as a planned reading priority. I also, on top of that, have many arcs that I have read and not reviewed. So I think I have like 10 arcs that I need to review. Like write my review, post it on NetGalley, post it on the websites, and then I can be done. So I'm going to prioritize doing that this weekend as well. So hopefully I can be caught up, because I know I have at least 5, I think it's 10 arcs that I have read and not given the public my thoughts on. So I need to do that. So my goal this weekend is to review all of the arcs I've read as many of those 5 arcs as possible, and review them in time this weekend. And then we'll see what happens for the rest of the month, because, babies come surprisingly. Like, this little one was 10 days early, and it's going to be awesome to meet her. But it's just, babies don't like to care about people's time and plans. They just, come when they want. So I'm going to be meeting her this weekend, which is awesome. So yeah, we'll see what comes of this weekend. But you can come along with me. Not to meet my baby niece, because privacy. And I do want to respect all of that with my family. But yeah, you can come along with the reading parts. Anyways, you'll see what I read. Let's see what I accomplish tonight. Good morning. It is Saturday. It's like 11:15 in the morning. I got really distracted last night, just streaming online. Like, I got distracted. I wasn't reading, to be perfectly honest. But I also did try to read a little, and I ended up reading fan fiction. So I was not doing what I was supposed to do. But I did finish Empress of the Nile today. So that's by Lynne, Olson. This one took me literally, I would guess, 6 hours to read. Yeah, I would guess 6 hours. It was very... I'm still battling a cough. I'm sorry. It was very interesting and very in-depth. But it was just so much information that it took me a long time to read. And I know for people who are new to my channel, you might say, oh, like 6 hours, that's an easy amount of time to read in a book. I read 100 pages in 30 minutes. So the fact that this book is about 500, just under 500 pages, and took me almost 6 hours, That's all by guessing, but still, it shows that this is a very intense read in that regard. Like, there's so much information. This follows the life of Christine. Oh goodness, I need to find her name again. Sorry. Oh goodness, what's her name? It's a really long one. And the thing is also, this book always referred to her by only her last name. I believe her name was Christine. She was a very formidable archaeologist. She started in archaeology in the 20s, and it was only men at that time, and so she was very much discriminated against. Then she got a position at the Louvre, and of course, while she was there, or maybe she was born in the 20s, but she was at the Louvre during World War II when they were trying to save the art, and where she was actually ended up being a spy, and like a double agent. So she wasn't working for the Nazis, but she was definitely using her position to work against the Nazis. So really incredible woman. It really goes over how she did that, but it's mostly about how after World War II, there were these temples that were not valued in Egypt, which she had been working in Egypt for several years at that point. And because of how she treated people in Egypt with kindness and with respect, the Egyptian government was much more willing to let her come in as opposed to anyone else. So they were inviting her in, and she wanted to save these temples, these Nubian temples that were just going to be wiped out in a dam that was being built. And she wanted to save this part of history. So this book mainly focuses on saving those temples and how that worked and saving the history of that. But this book isn't just about Christine. This book is about like Jackie Kennedy, or Jacqueline Kennedy, who did quite a lot from the American side. So very interesting, a lot of information, things I didn't think I would learn about when I picked up this book. I picked up a book about an Egyptologist who, helps protect monuments. And what I got was a book about a woman who, ran the Louvre during World War II, essentially, with other people. But she was one of the main people who was running it and keeping the artwork safe, and how she, really took on governments and really attacked something that she felt was a bad thing for our world history, and really saved a lot of things. It was an incredible read. It was just very dense in not a bad way, but it was just dense. So yeah, I'm giving it 4 stars. But wow, if you're at all interested in like trailblazing women who made a difference in archaeology, this is a book for you. This is also a book for you if you're interested in learning how Egyptology has like been impacted by different people around the world. This is also a really interesting book just about, how the world changed from literally the 20s or 30s all the way to the 80s and 90s. So it covers a lot. So yeah, 4 stars, and I think it's worth the read. But yeah, I will be happy to be finished that one now, because it has taken me a very long time to read, which just made me feel like I should be reading other stuff and prioritizing, getting other reading done. So now that I can do that, that did take a little while to get up today. I definitely slept in. So I will be having to catch up on other stuff. I don't have an audiobook for any of these things I'm reading. So we'll see if I'm going to set some timers and maybe sprint by myself. So yeah, we'll make do. But I have finished like the biggest and hardest book in terms of time commitment so far this year. So yay for me. So I have just put on a 30-minute sprint to read The London Séance Society by Sarah Penner, and it's not the book for me. I can tell that. I am 40% in after 30 minutes, so you can tell kind of how my speed normally is. I think it's about 130 pages that I've managed in the 30 minutes. But I am struggling with this because I realized during this 30 minutes, I'm like, I'm going to commit to finishing this. that I did not pick a good book for me. I requested this book, so that's on me. But when I picked it, I did not consider what it was about. I just considered it was by the same author as The Lost Apothecary, which I really enjoyed. This one is about seances. Now, if you have watched my channel enough, you know that ghosty books are not my thing. However, I just clicked request instead of taking into account what the title actually said or reading the description. I know that this is a mystery kind of thing, but honestly, I don't care. The romance is so heavy. And it's like, I want a romance in different books. This book is not my kind of romance. And I don't know. It's so, I think it's just not for me. I think I'm not connecting with the characters. I really don't care where this is going at 41% of the way in. So I've finished chapter 14. The first 14 chapters. We have met Lynne, who is working with the medium. I can't remember her name. Vaudeline. We've also met her younger sister, Evie, who was in a relationship with Mr. Morley. But it's just, none of it is catching me. None of it is engaging me. And I feel like I chose the wrong book. I don't think this is a book fault. I think this is a me fault. I also, I'm not going to say like this is completely my fault. I think that this book is not as well written or is not as engaging as The Lost Apothecary, which is fine because every book is different. I am, however, disappointed in myself for not actually taking the time to consider what this book would be about and not reading the synopsis before requesting the book. So I'm going to finish it. I'm going to predict now it's going to be a 3-star because, yeah. And like the mystery element is just starting to kick in. And I'm like, that's a little too late. I was expecting a mystery book. And so I think what problem was for me is that I was told it's going to be a mystery. Or mentally I told myself it was going to be a mystery. I think that the synopsises do say that too. I'd have to check. But if I'm told it's a mystery, and then for the mystery element to be really down low, but the romance element, which I was not really informed about before, to be so high, it's not what I expected. It's not what I was expecting to pick up and read. And on top of that, just my personal taste, it's about seances and calling up spirits and not my thing. So I picked a bad book for me. Not that it's a bad book, but it's just going to be probably at max a 3-star. There's no way it's going to get a 4-star unless it takes a turn. But I highly doubt that. So I'm disappointed in my choice that I requested, but I will finish it, especially if it's taking me about 30 minutes to read 40%. Then that would be another 45 minutes worth of reading, and then I should be done. So there's that. It is 12 o'clock now, so noon, and I will probably just get this book over with. That's kind of my mentality right now. I'm probably just going to finish it off and then get into other stuff. So yeah, I'll probably have lunch after reading this too, just so I can prioritize finishing this book, which food is important to be prioritizing. But this book, I'm probably not going to go back to with ease. So I'm going to finish it while I am reading it still. But yeah, all right. Lesson learned. Check out a book before you request it. And I'm pretty good at that normally, but I guess I wasn't this time. Anyways, I'm going to finish it off. We'll see. So I have finished the London Séance Society. It's better than what I thought. I would say about 60% in, it started to get interesting, which is too far in for my personal interest level. So I'm going to go with a 3-star. Yeah, It's definitely not labeled as romance under any regard, but there's a heavy amount of it compared to what's expected. So yeah, 3 stars. Like I said before, not the book for me. I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and then we'll see what I pick up next. I have all 3 of those. Another one actually I think I have to read as well, but I also need to write my reviews. So that might be my top priority while I'm eating lunch. So yeah, we'll see. So I am getting ready for the morning, but I was reading in bed for a little bit, and I finished The Maid of Ballymacool. I remember the title. I'm giving that one 5 stars. It's a Cinderella story about a maid who's at a boarding house and she's treated horribly. And one of the girls at the boarding house, her cousin, is required to come in and instruct his cousin on how to properly behave because she's quite awful. So he's there and he meets Brianna, who obviously is overworked and never paid, and she is completely and utterly being taken advantage of. But her story is very much a Cinderella story. It is so cute and so wonderful and Irish, and yeah, 5 stars. Love it. I'm gonna write my review today, right now, so I don't forget. And then yeah, we're on our way. We finished 3 arcs so far, which is pretty good. I still have Memory Lane, which I did start because I was in the mood for something contemporary last night. I'm only like 2 chapters in, not 2 pages, but 2 chapters in, maybe 3. And then I also have Daughter of Eden, which is on my to-read list for today. And then I will be able to have all of my upcoming books ready to go. So yeah, I'm gonna start on that now. But yeah, The Maid of Ballymacool is definitely a 5 star and definitely worth reading. So I am not doing anything except for reading, apparently. It's like 12:30 now, 12:45, but I've just made myself some lunch because I finished Daughter of Eden by Jill Eileen Smith. I really loved this one. This is such an interesting look at biblical fiction because it's about Eve and how the time started off for her in the garden, and then how life progressed after the garden, and how her family developed and the generations that they worked with and were trying to encourage in their faith, but they also were very new to living without God walking with them for so long. So really interesting look at this. I really enjoyed the whole story, the whole lifetime of Eve, how we got to see other people's perspectives and how we really got to imagine what the world could have been like before the time of Noah. So very fascinating, very interesting, and something that I am so glad I have read. So I need to write up my review for that. And then I only have Memory Lane, which, like I said before, I'm a couple of chapters in. So we'll see how much of that I get done today. I have several hours left and I could possibly get it done. But yeah, 2 5 stars this morning. That's really good. I did expect to love these books, but both of them surprised me in ways I didn't expect. So that is a nice twist on it. So yeah, definitely gonna pick up Memory Lane next. It's a lot bigger. It's like 440 pages, but I'm sure I can fly through it and I'm sure I can get it done. I don't have to get it done this weekend, but I'm gonna aim for it. And that would have been 5 arcs done this weekend, so I won't be mad if that's the result. And if not, 4 is not bad either for 4 days while visiting my baby niece and spending a lot of time with family there, because I definitely did that. So yeah, it's been a good weekend and I'm excited to see what the rest of my reading holds. So I think I'm going to wrap up my vlog here. I think I'm reading out, like I'm read out essentially. I finished 4 books this weekend. I finished Empress of the Nile by Lynne Olson. I finished London Séance Society, which is by Sarah Penner. I finished Daughter of Eden by Jill Eileen Smith. And what was the last one? Oh my goodness. Oh, and The Maid of Ballymacool by Jennifer or something. So pretty good. I'm sorry, I really should have figured that out. Yeah, I feel like it was a really successful weekend. I managed to read 4 arcs that were coming up, or were just recently published. I also managed to write 11 reviews because I was behind. So I wrote 11 arc reviews from books I had read as late as November. Like books I read then, I hadn't written those reviews yet. So, yeah, 11 of those reviews, so 7 of which were before this weekend, and yeah, it's been successful. So I counted it up, and my current amount of arcs I have right now out that I need to like read and review and all that are 16. And my current percentage on NetGalley, which I'm not like, you must be above 80%, but I've been like trying to get my percentage better because I'd like to, review these books. My current percentage as of today, as of finishing my final book for the weekend, is 81% on NetGalley. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with all of that. I feel like I'm not going to ask for any more arcs until I have finished the 6 that I need to read for February forward. But aside from that, I'm really happy with what I accomplished this weekend and how much I have finished, essentially, and how I finished those reviews, because that is a really hard thing for me. I can easily read it and move on, and then I'll just forget to write the review. So I did that. But yeah, it's been a pretty successful time. I did not read the whole entirety of Empress of the Nile this weekend. I had about 100 pages left of it, but I'd say that's pretty good. So all of the books in this video I'm recommending. As much as I would love to say the London Saint Society isn't a good book because I just don't like it, I'm not going to do that, because it is a good book, just not what I was looking for and not what I expected. And it was very unexpected then in that way. I think The Empress of the Nile is quite an in-depth history book, which you need to devote time to. And that's not a problem. I think it's just the way it is. And then for the Maid of Ballymacool, 5-star Cinderella retelling, and Daughter of Eden, 5-star biblical fiction. So not a bad weekend in terms of quality of books. It's just one was not quite my cup of tea, and I'm okay with that. So yeah, let me know down below if you have at all, like if you're any interested in these arcs at all, or if you get arcs yourselves and if you read them, and if you would like, I don't know, how to, pick books on NetGalley and how I go about it. I'd be happy to share that in a video if you would so desire. So like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you are new here. I would also love it if you hit the notification bell so you know when I am posting a video, because I'm very sporadic right now, and that's best for self-care. But I would love for you to do all those things. It really supports me and my channel, and I really appreciate you for doing those things, as well as leaving a comment. I really just want to say thank you every time that there's this community out there. And yeah, I'm rambling now. I'm gonna go and just probably watch some TV, so I'm not reading more. But yeah, it's been a good weekend. It's been a fun reading time, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.